Welcome to Homebrew. I'm Sydney Abramson. I'm here with Harrison Gordon.
Hello.
And
Orpin.
let's talk about your beginnings.
Sure.
To what degree did playing Smash Bros. Brawl as a child shape you as a man?
In a lot of ways, it taught me to lie, cheat, and steal your way to the top. And it taught me to never play with items on.
Tell me a bit about your previous band, Chuck's Papas.
It was an indie rock band that was formed out of a few of my friends that we ended up moving in together. And it kind of started by playing some of the early songs I had recorded and then branched out elsewhere. And then by playing shows with them, I was able to find the group of three that I play with now. And we called that quits like a year and a half ago-ish. And now we've just been running with this.
What made you want to transition away from the indie rock vibe?
It was kind of this thing that I always knew I wanted to make more heavier kind of pop punk style music, but the group I was running with, the project just sort of shifted into something like that, and it was really cool to work on for a while. But I always had this outlet, and then making our debut record was like my way to express it until that we really started like getting off the ground and playing a lot of shows.
Tell me a bit about your first EP that you put out during the pandemic, You Might Feel Lucky Now.
I recorded that. That was a lot of songs I wrote during high school, like when I was 16, 17, and then I had recorded them really poorly on SoundCloud. And in my head, I had this idea where I was like, I'm so much better at recording now. I should re-record them, which is really funny because looking back on listening to those now, I'm like, these are horrible. But in my head, I was like, now as a professional, I should re-record these. As an 18-year-old with lots of perspective, I could really get something good here.
Grandpa's the greatest song of all time.
No,
Grandpa's so good.
those songs are, they're unfortunate, but they're an important part of the development. And I've like thought about, like being like, I should take these off or whatever, our pages or whatever. But then I'm also like, it's kind of cool to like see a real progression, like from the really beginnings to like where we're at now. So I don't think I'll ever take any of that stuff off anywhere.
Let's talk a bit about your sonic and lyrical inspirations. I know you sing a lot about personal, emotional experiences that you've had, and I want to know just like a little bit about something that's important to you. Tell me about Busch Apple and why they should bring it back.
We drank a lot of Busch Apple in college, and a lot of it while writing the first record. And in the distribution page we had for like our independent distribution, it asked you to like, you have to put down a record label for your thing, but we didn't have a record label. So on all of our releases, I put something that's really silly, but it's really funny because now it's all officially credited on Google as like a real thing, which is just such a weird accidental like thing, and we've kind of continued doing it to this day.
It's so good. It's the best beer that ever was and ever will be.
I believe it. You've been called Jeff Rosenstock, but emo, and you've also been compared to bands like Prince, Daddy and the Hyena, Worst Party Ever. How would you describe your sounds and your influences? Do they kind of fit those, or would you describe them a little differently?
I'd say a lot for the most part. They fit that kind of stuff. Especially like those are all the bands that I really, really liked growing up and like got me into making music. So I don't have any problem with ever being like lumped into that kind of thing. I think the only thing is sometimes we get lumped in with like the Midwest emo thing, which is always very funny to me because like sonically I don't think we fit a lot with that. But we are an emo adjacent band from the Midwest, so we kind of fit in perfectly. And a lot of the stuff that we write and sing about is very quintessentially Midwest. So it's this weird relationship where we're like, there's this genre that we should be that we don't actually really fit in at all. But yeah, I'd say like Jeff Rosenstock, Pup. We're really big fans of like Joyce Manor and Title Fight, Microwave, Born Without Bones. Tons of like these like 2010s.
Tiger's
Jaw. Tons of like 2010s East Coast bands. I think we have like a very East Coast sound.
You mentioned, writing songs that are very quintessentially Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
What inspires you when you write your lyrics?
The fact that everything's really flat and cold, and that everything's cheap, and it's everything in the Midwest is really cheap, but you also always feel really broke compared to everywhere else in the world. And then the one thing for us is that like we don't really have very many songs about like heartbreak. has never been super like quintessential, which is funny because kind of most other bands, that's like the theme of most of the music. It's always been about trying to find like stuff on the fringes to write about, as opposed to just trying to write something like that maybe appeases more to that sentimentality of like everybody always feels heartbroken or has like a time in their life they feel that. But I'm a lot more interested in writing about like, you know, getting too many parking tickets or like wanting to blow your life up and stuff. I think those are more, there's a lot more interesting stuff to write about, I think.
A lot of your songs don't have like a traditional chorus. Is that a conscious choice that you make?
A lot of times, yeah, and a lot of times, no. Sometimes I just write stuff and kind of let a song play out, like, and just kind of figure out. I'll write stuff from the middle a lot of times and build out the beginning and the end based on how the middle feels. And a lot of times it just ends up in this place where there's so much I want to express over the course of like a 3-minute song that it never makes sense to return back to a theme. Because I always, in my head, I really want songs to end in a different place than they start. And sometimes, like, when songs have 3 or 4 choruses, it really feels like the song has one point, and it starts and ends on the exact same key. And so a lot of those songs that don't have any choruses are because they're meant to sound very disheveled and unorganized.
And I think, like, because as we're, like, growing as a band, we're writing together, and we all kind of share that. You know, I don't like doing that basic structure personally. You know, it's a lot more interesting, and I think people connect a lot more with non-traditional song structure, because life right now is very non-traditional. You know, shit sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I want to talk a little bit about where you grew up. What lessons have you learned from growing up in Normal, seeing and playing house shows and like venues like the Coffee House and Meltdown Creative Works?
First of all, incredible research. And second of all, I think playing at a really small scene like that just had a very like small community that we got to be a part of was important, because it taught us a lot about like community and structure. And like pretty much all of the first shows we played for like a year and a half, we put on. Like it was like there was no like bar to play in our town, and booking people we could get. If we wanted to play, we had to figure out where and how we were going to do it. Like, whose house could we play at? Like, what equipment did we need to buy and like set up?
Backyards.
Yeah.
I remember we built like a drum riser out of like planks from like Home Depot.
I was the only guy in town that had a PA system, and so like all of our shows were like built around the fact that it was like. I remember we played this one out to our backyard a lot, but like I like bought like big tents to set up, and we'd show up 4 hours early and set up all this stuff because it was just like that. We just wanted to do it, and
we even like we were going to have a Halloween show at that backyard, and we were told we couldn't do it, so we just moved everything to our drummer's garage.
Yeah,
and we did it ourselves, and then that became a venue.
We yelled everywhere. We were like, just walk straight down walk straight down Linden until you get to Jagger's garage, and we're gonna just drive all the equipment over and have it set out by the time you get here. And so I think just the idea that like if like no one did anything, I guess that I don't want to, not in like a bitter way, but like there was really no one around that was going to do anything for us. At that time, and there were like I mean the community's amazing. Like the amount of like the fact that like 150 kids would come out to the shows is unreal. Like most towns, most even like big cities don't have that. There's like so many really really cool local bands that can like put in a lot of work and a lot of time and still never get that amount. So I think it was just the fact that we put a lot into it, and like the community that we had fostered like gave so much back to us that like really helped us get started.
What's your favorite memory from a show you've played?
I think one that sticks out is that we played a show at the Coffee House all in suits. And I just remember that being like one of the first shows that we had where like the kids that were at the shows were not just our mutual friends, but like there were kids at the shows that knew all the words to our songs. And that was like really the first time that I felt that, like how that felt. And that was definitely like a moment where I was like, oh, there's like, it just kind of like helped us double down and put a lot more back into it.
That show at Jagger's garage too, you know,
it
was a 1-car garage, but like it was probably like 30 people, maybe,
Yeah,
but it felt like 100.
It felt like
and I'm
5,000 people in there, and it was 5,000 degrees.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, maybe we can do this. Also playing the A-hole in Ames, Iowa for the first time.
And seeing like kids who did not know who we were out
Yeah.
of town that still really cared. And then we came back like 6 months later to play, and the kids like knew who we were.
Yeah, there was
And,
like a line around the block.
Yeah,
to get
had
into this house.
had listened to us, and then came back to see us again, and we were like, oh, whoa, like there's actually something. It's like that. There's like just this degree of confidence you build when like the people in your community like give you so much love that it actually like that was the sole reason that we were like, cool, let's like double down and like actually do it.
Do you feel like you've lost a little bit of that now that you're, it's your first headline tour? Do you feel like you've lost a little bit of that novelty or that shock?
I mean, for sure, it's just different now because the one thing is the stakes feel higher. So like back then, it was like we were chasing a high from all the shows for sure. Like that's why we went and played, is because we wanted like that feeling. And so that novelty is for sure gone. Like when I get up on stage and like the crowd's awesome, I don't feel that same like buzz off it. But now it's a thing where then you have to refocus and you go like, that's actually a gift because now I can focus so much more on putting on a good show and like performing well and making sure everyone else has a good time.
Yeah.
Because now it's like a job. It's like, and you can still have a lot of fun playing. And it's like, when we're on tour, it's the only part of the day I look forward to. But it's just a little different. It's not so much like we're gonna get up here and party. It's like we're gonna get up here and make sure that we can put on a really, really good show so that everybody who came can party and has a really good time.
I want to talk a little bit now about the future of Harrison Gordon. You mentioned on Twitter that your next EP has some questionable doom metal influences. How true is that?
It's going to be an LP, and it will as far as I'm allowed by everybody else.
I'm all for it.
Orphan won't tell me no ever, but the other two probably will. But I've been listening to a lot of like High on Fire and Sleep, and just some of these like very, very thick, heavy guitar tones.
Or like Elder. I showed you Elder.
You did, yeah. Elder's amazing.
They're so good.
Oh, sorry, I burped. But like just these like really heavy, thick guitar tones influenced us, and it's not like a pivot. It's not like that's what the sound is going to be now. But I just wanted, based on kind of the themes that we're working with on the new record, there seemed to be a couple times that felt like a really cool. It's like, what can we do that's really cool here? And it was like, let's let loose on like this sound.
Yeah.
Like there's just like have a couple passages that like really lean into like this really huge doomy thing. And I think it's gonna go over well. I think once we get in the studio and get it done, I think people are gonna hopefully see what we're trying to do and like resonate with it.
I mean, I'm excited. Are there any artists that you would most like to collaborate with in the future or play with?
I'd love to do a while ago I started working on a song with Zach from Fiddler, Zach Carper. And just kind of faded out because we both got busy with other stuff. But I'd really love to like double down and work with him because he's like the biggest influence on like our sound, like since I've been in high school. And then I'd also love to work with like
Kyle from Excuse Me Who Are You.
Oh yeah, Kyle from Excuse Me Who Are You.
You've tweeted about that a little bit.
Yeah. We, on our upcoming record, we have a couple friends that we want to doing some guest vocals on stuff. Not like big features. Because I think a lot of times like a feature kind of would get in the way of like the vision, but like have some friends that we really, really like do like vocals on a record would be really cool.
We've met a lot of really cool, talented people who they each do things in a very unique way that will add to the sound, and we want to like reflect that in the friendships that we've made.
Definitely,
you know?
yeah.
All right, lightning rounds.
Yay.
What are your top 3 cigs to smoke inside?
I nowadays Marlboro Red, Spirit Yellow, and weirdly enough the blue and green Camel Crush.
Oh, nice.
No.
Why should Snot have been the song that blew up on TikTok instead of Kirby?
I think we just
It's
really
better.
liked playing it because it's like the fastest song we had at that time.
I get a moment.
Orphan gets a moment.
I don't get many.
And I think we just really, like, when we played at house shows, people would go so nuts that we were like, God, this would be cool.
You stated that Derek from Trash has kissed every member of Harrison Gordon.
Yes.
How
Yep.
much tongue was used for each member?
Mine was a vicious amount. Mine was an amount where I talked to him about it the day after, and he's like, I did that. I did that. It was.
I think mine was none, so I think it balances out.
it was like it was bad.
Yeah,
Are you jealous?
maybe.
We have a stuffed Brachiosaurus back at the station. What should we name it?
Can I throw in one? Royenthal.
Ooh,
Zaza Pachulius.
nice. Is there anything you want to say to our fans before we wrap it up?
Come see us on tour if this comes out before then. If not, stay tuned for whatever fun stuff we have in store next. Thank you so much. Keep supporting local radio.
Thanks so much, guys. See you later.